Welcome back to the Prep One podcast, number eight, eight. Sorry, week number 8, episode 8. As you can clearly see, someone's not here right now. Unfortunately, Ryan could not film on this week's episode, due to some technical difficulties, I guess we'll call it. So you guys are in good hands. Don't worry. You still got one half of the perfect duo. You got dealing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, best there is, son of a gun. Myself, Jerry the Jer Bear. How's everyone doing out there? Hope you're all doing good. Okay. This is the Prep One podcast. Follow us on all on our Twitter, Instagram handles, the Prep One Podcast. Follow us on TikTok, the Prep One Podcast. Like I said last week, I know we've been slacking it on the TikTok. If you do follow us there, you've been trying to look us up there, I understand. Again, keep in mind, we are in collaboration with Football Friday Nights on ESPN 600 AM here in El Paso. This past weekend, I wasn't supposed to actually be on the air as of last Sunday, and then in the middle of the week they needed me to fill in. So sometimes it's gonna happen that way. So last week Ryan was out at Ganotillo Burgess. I ended up going out there to Mountain View to watch Mountain View take on Fabens. So kind of changes a little bit. We'll make sure to keep you guys updated on our Twitter, the Prep One Podcast Twitter, so you all can follow us, meet us at the game, see us. We really love the support. Again, guys, another week of great views on YouTube, great listening. More subscribers came on. We're just getting a lot of great feedback, a lot of great things happening for this show, and it is all for you. Like we said, this is all for you guys, for all you high school athletes out there. We want to be your platform to push you over, get you noticed. USBG, we will do the G part for you and get you noticed out there. Okay, guys? So remember, SBG, show up, ball out, get noticed. Okay? And that's what we're going to do for you guys. And I'm riding solo today. Not a problem. We're going to still have some fun. We still got a full show for you guys. Maybe not as long, but hey, you still got the Prep One podcast coming at you. And as always, we need to roll the intro. Sorry, guys. I know I love that song. I love dancing to it. But anyways, once again, Ryan's not here, so I'm going to be doing the full load today. So starting off right away, my specialty, the cross country. This past week, no cross country. This past weekend, it was a bye all across the board, which is great because they are starting their district this week. And I will let you know that this week on Thursday, they're going to start. It's kind of like it's not going to go like most districts. So it'll be like we're going to start with the 3A and work our way up. And it's kind of like all over the place a little bit. So bear with them if, listen closely. District 1 4A and District 2 5A will both race on Thursday, October 13th. That's this Thursday, guys, October 13th at the Horizon Golf Course. On Friday, October 14th, the very next day, District 1 6A will race at the Horizon Golf Course as well. District 1 5A will run at Mary Frances Kisling Park also on Friday. Okay, guys? So you got races Thursday and you got races Friday. If you can make it out, great. Go support these runners. All of those races start at 8 a.m. Okay, 8 a.m. they start, guys. So Thursday, 8 a.m. If you can make it out there, great. Friday, if you can make it out there, perfect. Either way, support these guys. Look for these guys that we have been talking about all year long. Chris Moreno, Torres, Pastor, um, Jimenez, everybody, guys. Look for all of them, boys and girls. They're going to do big things. This is just the first stop in on their way to state, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what those times are going to be like. Moving on, something new, guys. Again, this podcast is growing. We're just getting to a lot of support, and we're getting a lot of great feedback, and it's growing just like we wouldn't believe, and it is doing great things. So to start off with right now, we're gonna go into volleyball, but I'm gonna really excited to do this. To sponsor volleyball recap this week is going to be brought to you by Raymond Lerma Photography. These photographers do great work, guys. A lot of them work for Prep One as well. They do a lot of great work, so really go with him for your photography needs. Also, the recap is brought to you by Homegrown Photography from Bridget Armendariz. Again, great photographers, guys. You're going to hear a lot more about some others on the show, okay? But the volleyball recap is brought to you by those two today, and let's just get right into it. A few games of note, guys. East Lake Americas, okay? East Lake Americas, 3-1. We've been talking about it all year long. This 6A volleyball district is intense, and it's really coming down to the wire now. It's coming down to the last few games of the year, right before playoffs, right before they get into, they start playing those big dogs outside of El Paso. But we have great competition here. I don't think it's going to be a problem. And 6A, I mean, it's been looking great all year. So you had East Americas. Canotillo took on El Paso High. El Paso High took their brooms out there again, swept them 3-0. Burgess decided to do the same thing to Jefferson, 3-0. Pebble Hills Coronado decided to do the same thing, 3-0. It was a week of sweeps, guys. It was, a lot of good competition out there, but, top dogs remain top dogs. They keep showing who they are, why they're there, and, try and stop us is all they're saying. You had Austin versus Harmony. We told you, Harmony's in that district right there with Austin, and that came down to the wire. 3-2. Harmony gets the win over Austin, and that was a good game. Fabens takes out Sanelli. Fabens now in their district play 3-1. Franklin all over Socorro, 3-0. Clint over Mountain View, 3-0. Horizon over Parkland, 3-0. Eastwood over El Dorado, 3-0. Hanks over Isleta, 3-0. Telling you guys, it was a week of sweeps. You see it all right there, all the 3-0s. Close one, Bel Air del Valle, 3-2. Went down to the wire. Very, very good district matchup right there. Andres over Chapin, 3-0. Eastlake over Socorro, 3-0. He also had El Paso High over Andres, 3-1. El Paso High did not get the sweep there, so they're sweeping what you might call a record right there. Came to a stop, okay? Their streak was the word I was looking for. Came to a stop right there. Andres got one set on them, but it doesn't matter. El Paso High is still the top dogs in that district, and they showed it with the 3-1. Jefferson takes it to Chapin, 3-1. Coronado takes it to Eastwood, 3-1. Irvin takes it back to Harmony, 3-1. And Pebble Hills sweeps Americas, 3-0. And to end the recap here. Oh, I'm sorry about that. To end the recap right here, you got Montwood losing to Franklin, 3-1. Franklin taking that one. Bowie taking it to Austin, 3-0, and Burgess remaining and right around that second place spot, 3-0 over Canotillo. That was the recap for this past week, guys. It was a lot of fun, a lot of exciting games, a lot of sweeps, but it's coming down to the end of the year. Teams have established themselves somewhat. Some teams are really vying for those last few spots to get into the playoffs. So it's going to be exciting to see exactly moving forward who else is going to be out there. Now, our Soaring Seven for this week, our Soaring Seven for volleyball is brought to you by Raise Up the Bar Fitness. Once again, guys, you can find them on Instagram, you can find them on Twitter, you can find them on Facebook. Raise Up the Bar Fitness. A lot of high school athletes work out with these guys, and the results show on the field and on the court. Also brought to you by Peach Wave 915, frozen yogurt and gelato. Look for them, guys, on Instagram, especially. A lot of tasty treats on there. I believe it's a mobile unit, so you see where they're going to be located at, see where they are near you, and hit them up, see what you could get. Support them, guys. They're supporting the show. They're supporting you guys, helping you. Once again, that's Peach Wave 915, frozen yogurt and gelato, and Raise Up the Bar Fitness. Back to the volleyball. We got our Soaring Seven of this past week. You got number one, Burgess Natalia Cano, 35 assists, 11 digs, 2 kills, 2 aces in a big win over Jefferson. El Paso High, again, you're going to hear a lot about El Paso High moving forward. Hannah Garcia, 40 assists, 7 digs in a win over Canutillo. Hanks, you got Alexa Heck, 12 kills, 1 assist, 5 aces, 4 digs, 2 blocks in a win over Isleta. Horizon got Alyssa Reyes, 31 assists, 17 digs, 3 aces in their win over Parkland. Bel Air, Nia Robles, 10 kills, 21 digs in their win over Del Valle. Coronado, Carolina Man, 1 kill, 47 assists, 13 digs, 1 ace in their win over Eastwood. And Andres's Leslie Mojica, 12 kills, 10 digs, 5 aces in their win over Chapin. All of these girls, great job. They SPG'd. Some of them, names we've heard before, they've been doing it all year. Okay, they've been doing it all year. You know who they are. You got Carolina Man there, Hannah Garcia. You got these girls leading their teams to be the top dogs in their district, leading their teams into playoffs. Let's see how far they can get into playoffs. Let's see how far they can take their teams, take that leadership role, moving forward, getting their team to that championship that they want. And who you never know. We have a lot of talent here, and I've told this to people all around El Paso. I've told it everywhere. We have a lot of great volleyball talent here, along with baseball, softball, all that. But volleyball is one of those sports that kind of a lot of people don't really talk about too much. But when it's in season, and these girls show out. They ball out, they get noticed, they go to state, they do their thing, whether be it here or in the club, they do great things. And we get a lot of volleyball college athletes going forward onto to that next level of their sport. And it just goes to show right here. You see the stats every week, you see the numbers every week, you see the results, and it's girls like this, it's athletes like this that really push everyone else to do their best. And that's why we have such a great volleyball scene here in El Paso. And that's why we do great. And unfortunately, it takes a back burner because it's right smack dab in the middle of football season as well. Obviously, everyone knows football is the, prime pedestal sport out there. But I mean, here in El Paso, volleyball, you girls keep doing your thing. We're here to be a voice for you out there. If someone doesn't know, we're going to let them know. And you girls keep balling out, and you girls keep getting noticed. Our top 10 for this week, you got number 1, Coronado staying up there. El Paso High, number 2. Okay, those girls showing up and showing out. Those girls are doing what they need to do. You got number 3, Eastwood. You got number 4, Franklin. Number 5, Montwood. Number 6, Pebble Hills. Of those top 6, yes, we've said it before, 5 of them are 6A. That just makes that district that much better. When you're playing the best and you're beating the best or losing to the best, you're going to stay up there. And if you stay within those games, you're going to stay up there. Wins and losses matter, but also your competition matters. And if you got the top 5 teams in the top 10 in the same district, that really says something. And the beauty of it, only four get to move on into the playoffs. So one of these teams could have a winning record and they're not going to go, but they're still top 10. That's the beauty of it. That's how competitive this district is. Number 7, you got Burgess. Number 8, you got Hanks. 9, Irvin. 10, Clint. And outside looking in, you have Isleta, Jefferson, Emmanuel Christian, Loretto. And shout out to those two private schools, Emmanuel Christian and Loretto. You girls keep doing you. Private schools, you already know me coming from one. We didn't get the respect we needed. Every year you had to make yourself known. It wasn't expected. You were, you know, the underdogs no matter where you went just because you're in a private school. But hey, they're getting noticed. They're not in the top 10, but who knows next week that could all change. And our preview into next week for volleyball is going to be brought to you by Chris Morales Photography, another great photographer out there. Look him up on Instagram, look him up on Facebook. You can see his work on there. Plus, he has all his information so you can get all you need to go get your photography needs. Also, SJE Photography. Hit up Sammy. You can hit them up out there on Instagram, on Facebook. Look at his work again, doing all the sports. All these people every Friday night, they're out there busting their butts, getting the best shots for you guys, making you look good, and helping us make our job easier, making you look good. And now our preview into next week's volleyball. We have a bunch of key games, a bunch of good games, very full schedule here. Again, like we said, it's coming down to the wire here. Okay, we have a lot to get into as we come down to the end, towards the end of this volleyball season. Right there at the top, Alpine visiting Tornillo on Tuesday. You got Eastlake Montwood. That's going to be another one. 2 top dogs right there. Okay, 2 top dogs again. Like I said, you had 5 of the top 6 teams in our top 10, all in the same district. So it's going to be really interesting to see who those top 4 are going to be come the end of the season. And this is a big matchup right here. You got Eastlake Montwood, Jefferson, El Paso High. That should be a good one. Jefferson tends to be a little sneaky there. So, we'll see. We'll see if El Paso High takes their brooms again, or maybe Jefferson will get a couple in there. I wouldn't doubt El Paso High just really takes it to them, sweeps again. But hey, you never know. Every week's a battle. Loretto, Emmanuel Christian, we were just talking about them outside looking in. So there's those 2 private schools looking to get into the top 10, going to battle it out. So we'll see. Maybe the winner of that game finally breaks the top 10 next week. Who knows? We'll see. Maybe one of them's got to sweep the other, and we have a definite answer. Coronado takes on El Dorado. That's gonna another big matchup there. Like I said, all these 6A teams are really in the mix right there, except for a couple. They're all really in the mix. Riverside Fabens, another district matchup right there. You got Pebble Hill Socorro, Clint San Elizario, Del Valle takes on Horizon. Eastwood Americas, that's going to be a big one right there. I think that's also going to be a deciding factor moving forward as to who's going to get in. Hanks Bel Air, Parkland Isleta, Bowie Irvin, Harmony Austin. Okay, and again, I know you might say, well, didn't Austin just lose to Harmony? This is the other Harmony school. Okay, it's just like what we talked about, the Leadership Academy and the Women's Academy, or the for EPISD and YISD. It's the same thing. These are not part of a certain district, but you got Harmony School of Science and you got Harmony Academy. They're 2 different schools. Okay, so Austin's not playing the same school twice. But you got Austin taking on Harmony. Burgess taking on Chapin. Ganotillo taking on Andres. I got the Eagles in that one, so we'll see who wins that one. You got Anthony taking on McCamey going out there. Franklin Eastlake on Friday. Okay, so Eastlake's got kind of a tough schedule this week. They got to take on Montwood on Tuesday. Then they got to turn right around and take on Franklin. So if this is the time that Eastlake really wants to establish themselves, this is the week to do it. You got to take out two top dogs, Montwood and Eastlake and Franklin. That way you can solidify yourself in that postseason play. Got a rivalry right here. Clint Fabens on Friday. That should be a good one. And Eastwood takes on Socorro. And then rounding out the preview for this week and rounding out our volleyball segment at Mountain View Riverside, Horizon Hanks, Americas Eldorado, Montwood, Pebble Hills. It's another good one. This could also be another week for Montwood to establish themselves. They take on Eastlake and then they take on Pebble Hill. So that's another good week for Montwood there. There's nothing easy for them or for Eastlake. So watch for those two games. Either one of those games, I suggest anyone and everyone to go to. Bel Air takes on Isleta. Del Valle takes on Parkland. And that is our volleyball. And once again, like I said, we have a lot of ball talent here in El Paso. It is sickening how much we have volleyball talent here and that people don't know or give that respect to. And that's really unfortunate. I mean, it really, really is. And yeah, I, coached, played football. Football's my sport. That's my thing. But guess what? If you ball out in a sport, I don't care who you are, what sport you do, you deserve to get to that next level. And that if that's what's going to get you to your dream, do it, get it. And don't matter if other people don't notice it. That's not your fault. And you just keep going and going and going and proving people wrong, proving people why you're the best at it. And here in El Paso, to me, that's cross country and that's volleyball. Why? Because they have to go one-on-one up against football. And I think right now is where you're really going to hear a lot more about cross country and volleyball. And that's, again, like I said, we're trying to make sure everyone knows about you the whole season, not just right now around this time when it gets down to playoff time. So you girls and guys out there in cross country, you girls out there in volleyball, you keep SBGing. We'll keep getting you noticed. We'll put your name on here. We'll put your pictures on here. We'll get you everything. Follow us on the Twitter. We'll do everything for you. Get you out there. That way these colleges, that way the other cities, and gets you El Paso, gets you athletes, gets you high schools on the map out there. And you guys keep doing what you're doing. Now, I know we're kind of moving kind of quick here today. We didn't really have too much we didn't have really too much of the cross country. Like I said, really not too much. We just have, the districts coming up. So we didn't really have too much there. Volleyball, I mean, it's coming down to the nitty gritty, like with that. Football is in full swing now, baby. Now we're in the latter half of the season here. We just finished week 6, I believe it was. Yes, week 6. Moving on to week 7. Okay, this was a big week. Not a lot of big games, but some surprises happened. Some almost surprises happened. Not really upsets, but football's really coming down now. Everyone's in district play now. Everyone. I mentioned it last week when I was telling Ryan. I was saying, unfortunately, when it comes down to your scheduling, yeah, you want to schedule dogs. You want to do kind of like Ryan's always big on how Eastwood likes to go out and play, the South Lake Carols, the Planos, the big dogs out there, because that's who you're going to see in the playoffs. It really is. It's who you're going to see. That's who I think that's where like Riverside went to Bushland. Unfortunately, it didn't really end well, but they went out there and they played. Austin did the same thing with Dumas. They go out there. Now they know the level of competition that is going to be waiting for them when they get into that playoffs, when they start going deep into the playoffs. And that's what you need to do. You need to stop thinking about that district championship. You need to think about that state championship. You need to think further than that. You think state championship, district championship will happen on its own. You think you're the best, you got to be the best, you got to beat the best. And that's what is going on right now in football, because we're down to the district. And like I was saying earlier, is that the unfortunate thing, you can schedule all these guys, but at the end of the day, what matters is your district play. and your district play is what gets you into the playoffs. You can go undefeated in your non-district play and lose one game in your district play and you're out. That's the unfortunate part. So that's where this comes down, and that's why this part of the season is really good. 6A is the biggest district we have. They've been playing since week 3, so they've already been in there. District 5A came in a few weeks later, and now District 4A is in it, and now everyone's in their district. Everyone's balling out, and now we got ourselves good games going into these last few weeks of the football season. It's coming down. I mean, it's already October, man, and it flew by. Actually, talking about this with someone earlier today, it is crazy how fast everything's going and how fast the season going. I mean, the cross country's already got their district meets this week. Volleyball's already coming up on their playoffs pretty soon. Football, we're in the last few weeks. And before you know, it's going to be November, and we're going to be talking about playoffs for football, and volleyball's going to be, finishing up, and cross country is going to be practically done. It's crazy how fast everything's going. And I know for you seniors out there, it's really, really crazy. I know I may be talking a lot right now, but like I said, you seniors, it is essential that you guys get everything done properly, everything good, everything moving forward. As a matter of fact, uh going forward with your your colleges and going forward into uh the all-star games and all that, you guys need to make sure, know your deadlines, know your SAT deadlines, know your ACT deadlines, know everything, know when everything's done, guys. It is crucial. It is very, very crucial. You want to be part of that, you need to know exactly when these these deadlines are. Okay, so don't forget about that. Make sure you know when. um I do coming next week, we'll make sure we'll get more information out to you guys about all of that good stuff. But it is crucial, guys. It's coming down to the wire now. Okay, but that doesn't take away from the fact you guys keep balling out. You guys keep doing your thing out there. Gonna get noticed. So let's get back into it. I know I took a little detour right there. Sorry, that's the little advice in me that the advisor there wants to help you guys out. But now we're gonna go on to our football recap, and today our football recap is brought to you by none other than Big O Photos. Look him up, guys. BigOPhotos.com. Look him up on Instagram. Look him up on Facebook. Like I said, another big thank you to them, helping us out. They're doing big things for you guys. And Daniel Romero Photography, guys. Again, any one of these photographers, we still got more. We still got more on the show. We still got quite a bit to do right now. Please look them up, give them a like, give them a shout out, give them a follow, help them out. We're helping you out. Help us out, help them out. Go out there, get them noticed, get yourself noticed, get all your photography needs done with them. Now going into football, here we go. Week 6 recap, guys. We had some good ones. Like I said, I was out at the Mountain View Fabin's game. I'll get into that right now. I'll talk a little bit about the Theo Burgess game. We'll talk about a little bit of everything. So you had Clint, Fort Stockton. Fort Stockton took it to Clint 41-0 in that first district play there. Fort Stockton has been having their way with El Paso teams. I mean, they just have been relentless. And we're not just El Paso teams in their own district. They've been relentless with El Paso teams in the higher classifications. So, I mean, good on them. Good for Fort Stockton. Look for them to really do big things moving forward, especially going into the playoffs. Clint, not the same Clint of old. Unfortunately, they're kind of struggling a little bit. But yeah, Fort Stockton takes it to Clint 41-0. Eastlake takes it to Montwood 48-20. A lot of people thought this game would have been a lot closer, myself included. I thought it was going to be a lot closer than it actually was. But Eastlake took it to Montwood. They got off the bus. They put the ball in the ground and they ran over Montwood and they took it to them. Never mind the weather. They really took it to Montwood 48-20. Good job, Eastlake Falcons. That's why they stay at our number one. They're really proving it and they're going to continue doing great things. Coronado, Eldorado. Eldorado just was unstoppable. You're going to see in a little bit why they were unstoppable. Key weapons that they had. But Eldorado is trying to get back up there. Unfortunately, they're down at the bottom, so they might not get into that playoff running, but they are trying to prove themselves these last few weeks as to who they are. And who knows, maybe they might sneak up there into that fourth place spot, but they got a lot to do. They really got a lot to do and a lot to get through. But Eldorado takes it to Coronado 51-31. Good job to the Aztecs. Anthony travels out to Cristobal and takes on the Cougars. Another district play. Like I said, everybody is in district play now. So it is really crucial. And this was week one for a lot of these teams, them included. Unfortunately, didn't go their way. A lot of people thought it was going to be a blowout, but it looks like Anthony held their own quite a bit, 37-6. I know the score doesn't really show it, but in high school, hey, that's the decent score if you're predicted to lose, 50-6 or something like that, but shout out to the Anthony Wildcats. They've been doing great this year. I've seen them play a few times. They got a lot of weapons on that offense. They just got to fix the little mistakes here and there, and they'll be good to go. Tornillo and Compass Academy. Compass Academy out of Odessa, I believe. That's where they're out of. 46-12 over Tornillo. Unfortunately, Tornillo's just always been in the struggle, and they just, I mean, what else can you say? Unfortunately, there. I guess the word of the day is unfortunately. So now you have a very, very close game. I was listening about this game, not to this game, but about this game. All the recaps on the radio. Eastwood Americas 20-19. Eastwood takes it. Americas is really showing that they want to be one of those top dogs in that 6A. Eastwood was one of the favorites coming into the season. Unfortunately, they haven't really proven that they are the favorite anymore. Pebble Hills and Franklin has really proven that. Americas upsetting Pebble Hills, that was a big one where they are really trying to show themselves, hey, we're here. We're not going to go down lightly. And they showed that on Friday night against Eastwood. Eastwood getting the win 20-19, just 1 point, but it was a heck of a game. Just going back and forth, and just, Americas is really, really coming out strong in this lower half of the season. San Eli versus Austin. Unfortunately, San Eli continues their woes. Austin taking it to San Eli 42-7. Austin is in their first game in district, really going to prove themselves to try and be that top dog, but they do got to go through a very, very good and strong Riverside team in order to win that district. But unfortunately, San Eli has to do the same, but Austin really showing themselves to be a force to reckon with. Hanks Horizon. This game actually was a very, very late game due to delays and due to a lot of other things, but it ended pretty late. I was out late. I was one of the last games to finish out in Mountain View, and this game was still going on. But the Hanks Knights get the victory 48-40 over the Horizon Scorpions. They did pretty well the whole game. It was back and forth, back and forth. So this was probably one of those games that was not on your schedule to go see, but should have been seen. Good job for the Hanks Knights right there, getting that win 48-40. Now, Mountain View Fabens, this was the game I was at. And what can I say about this game except that turnovers will keep you in the game and they'll also hurt you. Okay. Mountain View do not have their starting quarterback in Dominguez, but Joe Padilla has been stepping it up. Unfortunately, this is a crazy stat. Mountain View still gets the win 35-27, but they threw 7 interceptions. Might have been 8, but I believe it was seven interceptions. And Fabian's defense was the key here. Fabian's defense kept them in the game, guys. And it was the whole way. The first quarter ended 21-0, Mountain View winning. Then in the second quarter, Mountain View tries to extend their lead. Fabians ends up intercepting the ball stripping the ball, not intercepting. They strip the ball and they run it back into the end zone to get them on the board first. And then later on, they get an interception that puts them into range to get on the board once again, um, going into halftime. And coming out of halftime, it was the same thing. Mountain View just kept struggling, kept killing themselves. They either threw an interception down by the goal line, they couldn't punch it in. Fabians couldn't punch it in the whole game, not until the very last couple of plays were they able to punch it in down on the goal line. It was a story that was pretty much the story of the night, that their offense could not punch the ball in, but their defense got them into range to do so. So the offense finishing the job. But then these are those smaller schools where the players that play offense, they also play defense. So it was kind of strange how they turned it on defense, but then on offense they didn't really do anything. So that's what pretty much the story was there. But Mountain View, they stepped on the gas. They didn't really look back. It was just those mistakes. You had Gilbert. You had the running back Gilbert Gamboa. I'm sorry, I was blanking on his last name there. Gilbert Gamboa. He was their leader there, and towards the end of the game, this is another way they killed themselves. He broke it for a 98-yard running touchdown. He ran the ball 98 yards for a touchdown, only to be called back for a holding call. He proceeds to get out of the game. I believe he kind of cramped up, kind of tweaked something a little bit, so they took him out of the game. He didn't go back in. And then on the 2 plays later, backup running back, he ends up taking it to the house 58 yards for the touchdown. Later on in the game, Mountain View has a chance to seal the game off. They get a safety, but the safety is nullified for a face mask. So once again, penalties killed Mountain View's momentum. Turnovers killed Mountain View momentum. But what killed Fabians was the lack of ability to capitalize. And that's why you have the ending score here. Mountain View getting the win 35-27 over the Fabians Wildcats. Mountain View looking forward to move forward into this district, trying to be the top dogs. Again, district realignment. So they got some tough people to go against, one of them being Fort Stockton up there, so it's gonna be real tough. Parkland Del Valle. Del Valle gets the win 20-14 over Parkland. This was a good game, a good matchup. A lot of people were out watching this game. It's kind of another game that kind of went a little bit back and forth. It was kind of slow a little bit, but both teams came up and showed out a lot of close games. Like I said, in district play, really vying for that top spot. And Parkland's no pushover team. They really they started off slow and they're starting to get hot again. And Del Valle is one of those things that they had to go through, but they really showed that, hey, we're gonna take it to you. We're not gonna make it easy. Del Valle gets the win 20-14. Bel Air, the team everyone's talking about this year and everyone keeps criticizing, well, you don't have that strong enough of a schedule. It don't matter. I've been saying it doesn't matter. You can have the weakest schedule as long as you're putting up the numbers that you're putting. You're showing that you're a good team. That way, when you get to those big dogs, you continue playing your high level game and you're gonna compete against those big dogs. A lot of people don't have Bel Air getting past Parkland and Del Valle, unfortunately. I have hope. I have hope in Bel Air. I think they're going to really take it to those two teams and really going to surprise a lot of people. They take it to Isleta 49-8. Isleta, unfortunately, has not been able to get anything going this year. I mean, what else can you say? They had a great game in their opener or week 2 opener, week 1 against Riverside. But since then, unfortunately, it's been downhill for the Isleta Indians. Bel Air, though, has just been rolling through people. rolling through teams. They are SBGing every week. That's why they're in our top 10. That's why they're doing great things, and they keep putting up these numbers. They keep putting up these numbers against these so-called weaker teams, this weaker schedule that they have. Hey, they're going to surprise and turn some heads, I believe. Riverside versus Irvin. This game, if you were following it in the first quarter, first half, it was close, and people were surprised that Irvin was staying in the game with Riverside. Thing of note, though, Riverside did not have Angel Speedy Munoz playing this game, unfortunately. So they were down a key player. But Guardado stepped it up. He came out, he balled out, and he led the Riverside Rangers to a 42-7 victory. They finally got things rolling. They didn't look back, and they said, "See you later, Rockets." And they went soaring, and they made the Rockets go crashing down. Like that. I like it. Anyways, Burgess, Canotillo. This was the game Ryan was at from the get-go. It was all Canotillo. Burgess had no answer to them, no way of going. LJ Martin just big in this game. Big in this game. I believe second or third play of the game, he took it for like a 40 to 50 yard touchdown just to the house. Then no looking back. The score may not show up, but it was all Canotillo, just quick pace. Burgess could not stop them. 31-0 Canotillo win over the Burgess Mustangs. Chapin versus Jeff. Chapin is looking to get things rolling. I believe they got their first win last week against Chaparral. It was like a 62-0 win. Chapin now took it to Jefferson 52-8. Chapin's looking to really kind of solidify themselves in their district as well, and really, try to get back and hopefully, get one of those spots to the playoffs. But they still got a ways to go. But Chapin, I mean, this is a good start. Big 60-point win last week, a 40-point win this week. We'll see what they can do moving forward. Andress, El Paso High. This one was another one a lot of people did not see coming. It was very close for the most part. Andress finally got things rolling a bit. El Paso High, as you know, down a couple of key players, a running back, quarterbacks. They unfortunately are injury prone right now, or injury riddled. I'm sorry, that was the wrong word to use. Injured riddled right now, and unfortunately, it's showing. And Andress was able to get the win, 27-7. Nothing against Andress. Andress has always put out a great football product out there in the Northeast, and we'll see moving forward if these El Paso High Tigers can turn it around. Cathedral, after getting whomped last week by Bowie, Fighting Irish, baby, they take it to Chaparral up there in New Mexico. Show them what Texas football is all about. Get the win 32-13. I mentioned to Ryan, the last time Chap had won a game was against the Cathedral Fighting Irish a couple of years ago, and it wasn't going to be the same. So hopefully Cathedral can stop their streak of win-loss, and maybe hopefully next week they get another win moving forward. But like I said, it's coming down to the nitty-gritty here and getting into these final weeks of football. It's got like a few more weeks left before we get into the playoffs. Socorro, Pebble Hills. Ooh, this was the nightcap there at the SAC. We said it before. Socorro's been struggling all year. Unfortunately, they can't get things going. Pebble Hills was pissed the hell the bleep off. They were pissed off from losing to Americas. They took it to Socorro 62-0. Got the ball on the ground and did not look back, and they just took it to them to make a statement. Hey, we are still the top dogs. Don't you forget about it. Don't you forget about us. Now, this week's Soaring 7 is brought to you by My Designs Sports Photography. Once again, guys, I'm going to keep saying it. I don't have to say it, but I'm going to look these guys up. Great work they do all across the board. Look them up on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everywhere. You'll get all the information you need. just by that. My Designs, look them up, doing great jobs. And also by Rudy Davila Photography. Look them up, guys. They do great work for all your sports photography needs. They are here to bring you the football Soaring 7, our Prep 1 football Soaring 7. Number one, we got Chapin linebacker Nick Purnell. We don't get too many defensive guys in here, so this is big. This is great. Chapin linebacker Nick Purnell had 10 solo tackles, 5 assisted tackles, 2 sacks, 1 interception, and a TD in their huge win over Jefferson. Like I said, this is one of those leaders on Chapin, trying to lead them into the promised land moving forward into district play into this latter part of the season. Number 2 and number 3, these were the big essential parts in that win over Coronado. The Estrada brothers. You had little baby brother Estrada, Ryan Estrada, not so baby though. He's a big boy. He gets things going. He had 16 carries for 264 yards, 3 TDs in their huge win over Coronado. And older brother Quincy Estrada, QB, went 4 for 6. 4 for 6. Okay, that's it. 4 for 6. 128 yards. 4 for 6 for 128 yards. 1 TD, 9 carries for 77 yards, 3 TDs in total. 3 TDs in that win over Coronado. That is freaking ridiculous, guys. That is like, video game numbers right there. But it was all the Estrada brothers, the Estrada brothers taking it to Coronado. So it was pretty much the Eldorado Estradas all over Coronado. Take nothing away from the rest of the Aztecs, but these two boys got it going, and hopefully they keep it going. Number 4, you have Hanks wide receiver Dominic Casillas with 10 receptions, 102 yards, 2 TDs in that win over Horizon. Again, that was a big game. It was a big struggle, big fight. But hey, he led his team to the promised land right there, and they got the win. Riverside running back Jose Guardado, like I told you earlier, he took the ball. He took the reins since Angel Munoz was not there. He took the reins from Speedy, and he said, hey, give me the ball. I'm going to take it 22 times. I'm going to take it for 262 yards, 3 touchdowns, and we're going to take it to Urban. Started off slow, but he was like, hey, we got this, no problem. And that's why Riverside is a very dangerous team out there. Yeah, they may have gotten blown out by Bushland, but Bushland's one of those top dogs in the state. Now they know. Now they know what to look for. Now they know what to expect. So when they get to that next level once again, and they're going to be like, what's up, Bushland? We're back. Take it to us again. Number 6, Mountain View, Gilbert Gamboa. I mentioned him earlier before. He rushed for 185 yards. Would have been over 200 yards had not that holding call would have been called. On 30 carries, scored 3 TDs, would have been 4 for that holding call in that win. Like I said, I don't want to take nothing away from Mountain View. They did great. It was those little things. They got to take care of those little things moving forward into the district, especially the district that they play in. It's going to be very tough, very strong district that they got. But shout out to Gilbert Gamboa. He did great. He is a load. He gets that ball and he runs downhill and he doesn't look back. Ganotil running back LJ Martin. We've heard him before plenty of times. We've heard some of these guys before plenty of times, but LJ Martin we heard all year long. Finally got things going. 14 carries, 160 yards, 3 TDs in their win over Burgess. Like I said, he started off early and he did not stop. Good shout out to all of these teams right here in our Soaring 7. Before moving on, I just kind of want to touch on one thing, and that is the current district standings for football. I know I didn't mention for volleyball. Unfortunately, I didn't get that up, but we got the current district standings for football moving forward coming up on these final weeks. In District 6A, they've been in district play the longest. You still got number 1 Eastlake taking that top spot. Pebble Hills is right behind them. You got Franklin, Eastwood, Montwood, Americas, Eldorado, Socorro, Coronado. Those are your current standings. Eldorado looking to try and see if they can kind of sneak in there. It might not happen, but right now you got Eastlake, Pebble Hills, Franklin pretty much vying for that number 1 spot. It's going to come down to those 3. I still think it'll, we'll see. We'll see who comes down at the end. for those top spots. And then you got Eastwood Montwood Americas vying for that fourth place spot more than likely. So you might just have East Lake Pebble Hills Franklin taking 1, 2, and 3, and it's going to come down to Eastwood Montwood Americas taking that fourth place spot. So we'll see. Eastwood already, taking out, having the edge with that win over Americas, but it's kind of mixed up. So we'll see. We'll see already, kind of moving forward. District 1-5A Division 1. You got Del Valle at number 1, Parkland number 2, Bel Air number 3, Hanks number 4, Isleta number 5, Horizon in last place at number 6. Like I said, Del Valle, Parkland right there. Those are the two top dogs in that district. But Bel Air, I think, is one of those two. So look for them to really show up and really take it to them. Like I said, they've been saying, oh, well, they haven't had that tough skill. Well, now we'll see. Now it's coming up. Now it's gonna show. It's gonna show, and you'll see pretty soon, very very soon, how Bel Air is gonna be. District 1-5A Division 1. I'm sorry, Division 2. You got Canotillo, Andres, Chapin, Burgess, Jefferson, El Paso High. Another decent district right there. District 1-4A Division 1. You got Riverside, Austin, Bowie, Sanelli, Irvin. Bowie had a bye week this week. They did not play, but everyone else got their first district game in. Riverside and Austin being the two top ones out of there. And I was just talking about this with Mountain View. You got District 1-4A Division 2. Fort Stockton, Monahans, Mountain View, Clint, Pecos, Fabens. Monahans, Pecos, Fort Stockton, all teams that are every year are really, really good, really, really decent. They really, really take it to the El Paso teams. So this is going to be tough for Mountain View, Clint, and Fabens. It's a whole new district. So we'll see how they do. Maybe Mountain View and Clint can show out there. So, good luck to all those teams. That's your standings for this week. Moving forward to our top 10, you got number 1 Eastlake staying there, number 1 top dogs. Got number 2 Pebble Hills making their way back up. So again, like I said, we'll see how things tend to shape up. Number 3 Eastwood, number 4 Del Valle, number 5 Bel Air Highlanders. I'm telling you, there's a lot of talk behind these guys. So we'll see. A lot of people have them losing to Del Valle, have them losing to Parkland. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Number 6, Franklin. Number 7, Riverside, making their way back up after that big loss to Bushland. I'm sorry. I know you guys must be hate me saying that, but hey, maybe that helps. Use it as fuel. Use it as fuel to your fire. Number 8, Canotillo. Number 9, Eldorado. Number 10, Americas. All big teams. And outside looking in, you got Parkland, Montwood, and Mountain View. So these next couple of weeks, we'll maybe see some of those guys get knocked out and some of these guys get pushed in. Who knows? We'll see. And maybe some other guys coming from behind trying to look in. And moving into our final segment, looking at our football preview for this week, it is brought to you by VRG, Veronica Reynolds Garcia's photography. Great photographer out there. Once again, look her up on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. And Ray Navarro Photography. Thank you all to all those photographers for sponsoring this show, and to Peach Wave Gelato for sponsoring these segments for you guys, making your show that much better, making this that much better for you guys to really get out there and SBG. Week 7 schedule. So we'll kind of run through this rather quickly. Like I said, we got some good games. Very, very few. These are all of them right here. So all of them in district, all the games matter, but these really, really matter moving forward, especially in those smaller districts where you lose one game, you're out. So it's kind of hard for that. You really got to show up, show out. You got to show up, ball out, get noticed. Thursday night at the SAC, you got Eastwood taking on Socorro. What can I say? Socorro's not great. Eastwood really trying to solidify themselves in those top four. So, I'll just give you my take here. Just let's assume Ryan goes the opposite. All right. So Ryan goes the opposite on all my picks. I get that stake at the end of the year. No, he doesn't have to know. Eastwood, I'm just gonna be all over Socorro. Unfortunately, I take Eastwood on this one. Friday night, you got Bowie coming off of a bye week taking on Irvin. I think Bowie's just going to take it to Irvin. Irvin just kind of had some hope, some slight hope against Riverside, but then Riverside turned it on. So Bowie's going to take it to Irvin, getting their first district win, and Irvin will go down 2-0-2 in their district. Canotillo Andres, I'm going to take the Eagles on this one. We'll just leave it at that. I'll take the Eagles on this one. So I'll let Ryan decide which Eagles later on. But I say, I'll take Canotillo. I'll take the Canotillo Eagles over the Andres Eagles this Friday on this game right here. Pebble Hills Montwood. This is going to be a good one, guys. This is going to be a very, very good one. A lot of people might not think so, but I think so. Some people think Pebble Hills is going to walk all over Montwood, but hey, they said the same thing. Montwood Franklin. Franklin was going to walk all over Montwood. Look for this to be another Montwood Franklin showing. This is going to be a high scoring event. It's going to be close. I still think Pebble Hills is going to be the top ones to come out of there. I still think they're going to be the number one team at the end of the year. So I'm taking Pebble Hills over Montwood on this one. Eldorado Americas. This is going to be another good one. If the Estrada brothers can come out and show out like they were doing, I think they could take it to Americas, but Americas, they have something to prove. This is going to be that matinee game before the Pebble Hills Montwood game. It's going to be at 4:00 on Friday at the SAC. I really think it's going to be a very close game, very good game. I think Americas is going to come out because they're trying to prove something here that they are not to be to be unnoticed here, to be pushed aside. They are going to show that they are still here to play ball, and we are there. Pecos Fabens. This game, guys, we said we're collaborating with Football Friday Nights. This is where Ryan's gonna be out. I'm probably gonna be tagging along with him out there. We'll see. If you all are way out there in the East County, check us out at Fabens Pecos or hear Ryan on the radio. Give up his updates. Keep up with Football Friday Nights on 600 ESPN 600 El Paso. Pecos Wildcats, Fabens Wildcats, Pecos Eagles. I'm sorry, Fabens. I'm gonna take Pecos. Fabens offensively really couldn't get things going last week. I don't think unless they change a lot of big things. I don't foresee them coming out on top of this. So I'm gonna take Pecos. Forson Buffaloes versus Anthony. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I don't know a whole too much about Forson. I know a lot more about Anthony. Unfortunately, Anthony doesn't really do great against these out of town teams, but you know what? They also thought they were gonna. People thought they were gonna get blown out by 60 against Cristobal. So I'm gonna take Anthony in this one. I think Anthony might turn some heads, surprise some people. So I'll take Anthony, the hometown, taking it to Forson. Mountain View Clint. This is going to be a good one. Mountain View, I do know, is ready for this game. They were ready since last week. Mountain View Clint. I'm going to take Mountain View in this one. Mountain View just seems to be dominant right now. They seem to have things rolling. Clint is struggling. They still, we'll see. We'll see what happens. A lot of people have Mountain View Clint being 1 and 2 in this district, but we'll see. Fort Stockton has something else to say about that. But right now, Mountain View Clint, I got to take Mountain View on this one. San Eli Riverside. San Eli Riverside. This is a tough one. I guess I'll take Riverside. Riverside, I don't think, I don't want to jinx anything or anything, so I won't say anything. But Riverside is really, really just on another level this year and right now. So they're really going to take it to San Eli, especially having a slow start against Urban. I think they're really going to turn things around, so to say. Even though they blew out Irvin, I think they're going to really take it to San Eli. Franklin Eastlake. This is a good one. Eastlake has been coming out on top. They are number 1 for a reason. Franklin, just right there, knocking at the door, right at their steps, along with Pebble Hills. on this one. Oh, this is a tough one. This is gonna be a good game. If you're out on the west side on Friday, really suggest go out there to Franklin High School and check this game out. It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be two top dogs really taking it to each other. And I am gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna give it to the quote unquote underdog. I'm gonna say Franklin. I think Franklin can take it to Eastlake. I think Franklin will come out on top on this one and end Eastlake's undefeated run in district play, and it just stir the pot a little bit, kind of shake things up. And I think Franklin's gonna take it to Eastlake. It's gonna be a close one. It's gonna be a very fun one to watch and fun one to follow. So I got Franklin Cougars over the Eastlake Falcons. Then you got the Chapin Huskies versus the Burgess Mustangs. Chapin, this is one of those tops of games. Burgess has their moments. Chapin barely started getting things rolling with two big wins. I'm gonna give it to Chapin on this one. I think Chapin will do good. I think Chapin's gonna come out on top. Do I think they're gonna blow them out? No, but I think Chapin is really gonna continue this good win streak moving down in their district play. So I think Chapin will take it to the Burgess Mustangs. And finally, you got El Paso High Jefferson. El Paso High, I mentioned earlier, is injury riddled, unfortunately. Not much they can do there except find the next man up. But unfortunately, like we said before, in some of these smaller schools, next man up is really, it's the guy down the line. Hey, you're slot receiver. Guess what? You can throw. You're coming in at quarterback. So it just kind of depends all on that. So we'll see. We'll see about that. Jefferson has been kind of up and down this year. I mean, consistency is key. They got blown out by Chapin, but I don't know. El Paso High, just because El Paso High injured riddled right now, I'm gonna give it to Jefferson. I'm gonna say the Jefferson Silver Foxes are gonna win over El Paso High for this week. And yeah, I mean, not much more I can say about that game. I mean, just unfortunately, El Paso High has hit a huge speed bump in their season, and they just got a big hill to climb. And we'll see. We'll see if they can turn it around in these last few games. Like I said, guys, hopefully we can. What's going on here? I apologize. Like I said, moving forward, Ryan picked all the opposite teams, but that was again. I know you probably got tired of hearing my voice. I had fun. Hope you all had fun. We got a good show in. It's shorter than most of our shows have been. But again, this is for you guys. This is for you all to really promote yourselves. And we're coming down to the nitty gritty. We're coming down to the wire. We're coming down to every other cliche phrase you can come up with for football, for cross country, especially right now, and for volleyball. It's coming down. And then you baseball, I'm sorry, not baseball, you basketball guys coming up, wrestling, all of that's coming up pretty soon, pretty quick. Track and field will be coming up pretty soon, pretty good. Before you know it, guys, it's already October. Before you know it's going to be November. Then we're on Christmas break. And then you're coming back. And now it's the spring. And boom. And just like that, guys, it's over. So again, once again, like I said, you seniors, keep up to date on your SATs and everything you got going there. Please keep it going great. And once again, guys, I am Jerry, the Jer Bear Kid, stealing, jet flying, wheeling, dealing, limousine riding, your host. Ryan will be back next week. We will have a great full show for you guys. And I hope all of you really have a great week. And we'll see you all out there. Bye.